Hello students, welcome to NIOS for a higher secondary level, and today's subject is political science and topic is major political theories. You will learn in this lesson about major political theories. For example, Liberalism, Marxism and Gandhiism. Liberalism and Marxism have caught the attention of the people in most part of the 20th century. I will discuss the theories. Theories of Marxism. Today's chapter objective is explain the meaning of liberalism and its features. Second, identify the basic talent of Marxism. Describe the theory of dialectical materialism, historical materialism, theory of surplus value, theory of class struggle, revolution, dictatorship of the proletarian and classless society. I will explain no contribution of Lenin and Mao to Marxism. Next is describe the significance of purity of means to achieve ends. Explain Gandhi's view on state, democracy, Swadeshi, trustship, cottage, small scale industry, etc. Highlight Gandhi's emphasis on Swaraj, Satyagraha and non-violence. I will explain you later. Next is explain Gandhi's steadfast opposition to discrimination based on race and lifelong effort for the upliftment of Harisranj and Dalits. The first topic is liberalism. According to Korean, liberalism begins and ends with the ideal of individual freedom, individual human rights and individual happiness. The main objective is right of the human and happiness and freedom. Encyclopedia Britannica defines liberalism as an committed to freedom as a method of policy in government, as an organizing principle in society, and as a way of life for individual and the community. It is a theory of democracy, for it has favored constitutional government. Government based on the consist of the people, rule of law, decentralization, free and fair election. Now, learn features of liberalism. The first is individual liberty. It means liberalism is essentially an ideology of liberty. Its love for individual liberty is unquestionable. It has become liberalism. For the liberals, liberty is the very essence of human personality. It is a mean to one's development. The second point is individual centered theory. It means liberalism begins and ends with individual. For liberals, individual is the center of all activities. The focal point individual is the end, while all other associations, including the state, are the means which exist for the individual. Individual is the center around which all things move. It means self activities. Third is capitalistic economy. The means of liberalism advocates free market economy. For example, the capitalistic mode of the economy, it believes in a private property system. Fourth, limited State. It means the liberalism view the state as a mean for attaining the good of individual. They oppose every type of totalitarian state. They are of opinion that a more powerful state means less individual. Locke used to say, because the function of the state are limited, so are limited its power. Fifth is democracy. It means established government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Government function according to the constitution and constitutionalism. A government that uphold law, a government that secures rights and liberties of the people. Now we will discuss about weakness of liberalisms. Liberalism has its own inherent defects. It is the philosophy full of tension. The first is one hand unfurls the flag of liberty, and the other hand it argued for equality. This is the first weakness of liberalism. Second is on the one hand it works the framework of market society, and the second it is promise equal opportunity to all. Third is on the one hand it asks for unlimited rights to acquire property, and on the other hand it seeks to demand a share of profit for the welfare of those who are unemployed and the needy. It seeks to demand and share of profit. Fourth is on the one hand it built a capitalist economy ending up ultimately in inequalities, and on the other it endeavors to establish an egalitarian society. It is a wrong. Now we will discuss about some points of Marxism. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels realized clearly the adverse effects of capitalism. You can see on the picture Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. They both are realized clearly the adverse effect of capitalism and in the process brought out of the cold scientific socialism or Marxism. Next to the move on, Marxism and its basic effect. There are some points. First is nothing happens in the world on its own. There is always a cause effect relationship in what we see around. The relation of production, for example, material relations among the people, as the basis of society, provide the cause while the productive forces constitute the effect. Second is the real development is always the material development. For example, the economic development. It is important, and the real development. Third is the material factor is the dominant factor in both individual life and social life. For example, economic, they are important factor. Fourth is human being is born at particular stage of social material development. For example, born in a social setting which exists dependent of him, but being an active being, human being makes his own social setting in the society. Fifth point is social classes, especially the opposing classes through their struggle and following the process of revolution move in the forward direction. That is why the Marxists say that every subsequent society is better than preceding society. Sixth point is revolutions means total and wholesome changes. They are not a negative force but are what Marx had called the history when launched and successful revolutions take the society to a higher stage of development. According to the Marxist, means disappearing state, of state, for example, slowly, gradually, the state would go the whole way. Now, take a little break.
कोविड-19 यानी कोरोना वायरस देश एवं संपूर्ण विश्व में व्याप्त विषाणु जन्य समस्या। लाखों लोग इस संक्रमण की चपेट में। इसका निदान है जागरूकता के साथ हम और आप स्वयं। कोरोना वायरस के इस संक्रमण से संपूर्ण भारतवर्ष भी एक विकट स्वास्थ्य की परिस्थितियों से जूझ रहा है। भारत सरकार द्वारा गांवों से शहरों तक व्यापक जांच, उपचार और विभिन्न नैदानिक व्यवस्थाएं की गई हैं, लेकिन अभी हमें करना है इससे बचाव। बचाव है आपस में 2 गज की दूरी रखें, मास्क जरूर लगाएं, हाथों को बार-बार साबुन से धोएं और हाँ, आरोग्य सेतु ऐप पर लॉगिन अवश्य करें। घर पर रहें और NIOS की स्व अध्ययन सामग्री से पढ़ते रहें। आपके लिए PM ई-विद्या पर टीवी, रेडियो वाहिनी और मुक्त विद्या वाणी पर ऑडियो कार्यक्रमों का प्रसारण भी NIOS द्वारा किया जा रहा है। आपसे एक ही अनुरोध है, जब भी छींकें, मुंह और नाक को ढकना ना भूलें। भीड़ भाड़ में जाने से बचें और सामाजिक दूरी का पालन करें। और एक बात, जब तक वैक्सीन नहीं आती तब तक मास्क को ही वैक्सीन समझें। साफ रहें, स्वच्छ रहें और स्वस्थ रहें। 2 गज दूरी, मास्क है जरूरी। किसी भी आपदा की स्थिति में संपर्क करें टोल फ्री नंबर 1075 011 23978046। ईमेल करें ncov2019@gov.in।
प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो, कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो। मित्रों हम उठे और जागे, मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने हम, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने, राहों को आलोकित करने। राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर।
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर
शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बहुत, कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, अपना जीवन स्वयं बने हम, अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने। कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने हम, स्वयं बने हम,
Continue the chapter, and next topic is highlights of Marxism. There are some points. The first point is dialectical materialism is the sum total of general principles which explain as to why and how social changes take place. The social changes take place because of the material factor and through the dialectical materialistic method. Second is relations of production. It means constitute the basis of the society at any given point of time. What are called the social relations among the people? For the Marxist, the relations of the production. Third is productive forces. In the productive forces constitute those elements which originate from the relations of production but which through opposite to the latter promise more production through newer method. Fourth is historical materialism, is also called the economic materialistic interpretation of history. The Marxian explanation of this history is that it is a record of the self-development of productive forces that the society keep marching on the path of economic, materially development. That history is the history of numerous socio-economic formations. Fifth point is theory of surplus value. It means is another characteristic of Marxism. The surplus value is different. What the value of labor produce and what he gets in the form of wages. In a simple words, the labor gets the wages, the employer the profit, the surplus value makes the rich richer and the poor. It is through surplus value that capitalists thrive. The meaning of surplus value. Sixth is theory of class struggle. Class struggle is the characteristic of class society. The classless societies. There are no class. Struggle because in such society no opposing. Class struggle in class society mainly three types: economic, ideological and political. Relevance of Marxism. Marxism, both as a philosophy and also a practice, has attained a position unparalleled in the society, social and political. Its appeal crosses all boundaries and in fact all limits. It is strength as are its admired, and yet its shortcomings are obvious. Marxism has underestimated the worth and strength of national to say workers have no fatherland. As Marx used to say, it is make them parentless. Next point is Marxism also underestimated the importance of state. To say state is a class institution, therefore an oppressive and exploitative one is to oversimply think. From the state. The next topic is Gandhism. Mahatma Gandhi, born in 1869 and was died 1948. He was the supreme leader of the Indian national movement, which he had led for about 30 years. Between 1917 and 1947. Now let's see. Gandhi as the critic of Western civilization. Gandhi was critic of Western civilization. He complained against Western materialism. It is destroys the very essence of spiritualism. He regarded Western type of man autonomic. He against the state that existed in the West. Gandhiji advocated what he called the Rajya as against the Western style of managing through the centralism forces. He stood for the decentralized polity against materialism, industrialization and capitalism. He made a plan for Swadeshi, cottage industry and the theory of trusteeship. State decentralization, cottage industries and trusteeship. Gandhism stand for a state based on. I will explain the points. The first point is the consent of the people. The second point is the near unity in the society. Gandhiji advocated decentralization of the power. The spirit of Gandhian democracy is the spirit of decentralization. the mean of decentralization, devolution of power at each level beginning from individual, local unit and reaching the apex. The essence of decentralization, according to Gandhiji, it all powers flow from below and go up ascending order. Gandhiji was said, Gandhiji's concept of decentralization has an economic aspect. He argued for the devolution of economic power as well. He advocated village economy through the promotion of village, small cottage industries. In fact, he was for self-reliant village economy. He was promoted. His concept of Swadeshi, that spirit which required us to serve our immediate neighbors and use things produced in our neighborhood in preference to those more remote. It means to help to each one. Gandhiji favored the revival of indigenous industries so that people could have enough to eat. In his opinion, any kind of which exploited people and help concentrated wealth in fewer hands. Gandhiji's idea of trusteeship was unique. It was unique because aim establishing cordial relations between the capital and the laborers. As a such, they are only entitled for the money. They need to satisfy their necessities as do employ. For Gandhiji, no individual is the owner. All work and all are the workers. everyone gets for the service one renders. The profit is not the owner. What belongs to the community? Employers are trustees and not the masters. The employees as necessary components of enterprises are the workers and not the slave. They are not the slave. They all are employees. And the means. According to Gandhi ji, and means constitute two aspects of same reality. For example, two sides of the coin. It is not same. And the second is as are the means of so the end. Gandhiji used to say he also means may be linked to seed, the ant to the tree, and there is just the same inviolable connection between the mean and ants is between the seeds and the tree. The aspects of the same reality. Gandhiji said, I would not accept Swaraj if it comes through bloodshed. Again for me, Ashimas come before Swaraj. So I close, and inseparable is the relationship between the two, that if one take care of the mean, the end will take care of themselves. The care is more important. Next topic is society and Sarvodhya. It means a society based on equality. According to Gandhiji, is a society which rejects any type of discrimination. For example, caste, creed, class, sex, race or religion. They are not want to do discrimination. He was say, we are born as human being and we are equal, not as Hindu or Muslim. We were born as human being, not as an upper caste being or a Dalit. We all are equal. Gandhiji's concept of Sarvodaya sums up his views in kind of society he used to dream. Sarvodaya, as Gandhiji had visualized, is the greatest good of all members of the society. Thank you.